Hey folks, Brian Shore here, the Walleye Guys once again. We're going to come at you this week with this quick tip on how to take better photos with your cell phone. Now, not everybody's got high-end DSLR cameras, or like me, I've been married to a photographer, so very, very handy. What we're going to discuss is how do we use these phones and their capabilities to take the best photos you can out there. So whether you're a weekend angler or just out there with your friends and family having a good time, you want to capture some good moments, or if you're a pro staff trying to help yourself, set yourself apart from all the other guys that you're competing against for sponsorship dollars or positions, or just to provide your sponsors some good value, knowing how to use your cell phone and take quality images are huge, huge, huge to your success, okay? So, balance your shots, all right? I'm going to try to show you a few shots up here on the screen. We'll zoom in a little bit here. Rule of thirds is what I've always been told. So all these tips are, my wife's photographer. She has educated me on all this stuff. A lot of it is just trial and error. You can get online. You can read about all sorts of these type of things as well. Okay, rule of thirds. You want to cut that screen into 9 squares basically, right? And set the image into those parts of it. Focus on 1/3. Backgrounds are another third. Rule of 3, okay? So it's composition. It's going to give you the depth that you're looking for, and it's going to give you a lot more natural balance. Okay, now we're not always going to have that. You're going to be doing some up close stuff, some product type maybe shots. You're trying to get in there. You want to pinpoint on a certain type of item. But overall, rules of, just remember rule of third, and you can set your cell phone to where it'll give you grid lines. Okay, and it'll help you kind of get started out that way. There's some settings in there, so when you're looking at things, your imagery is going to have the 9 boxes on your screen. Just remember rules of threes. Set those grid lines until you get used to it. It's a really good habit, and you'll have better natural feel to a lot of your photos. Focus, okay? So when you aim it, your cell phone or whatever, it may not be focusing on what you want it to focus on, right? So real simple, touch the screen. If you want to, we're doing the grip and grins, you're holding the fish out. The focus is the fish, it's not you. So it's okay to extend it out a little bit. You don't need to do the real long arm thing to make it look bigger, but do pull it away from yourself to give you some depth, and then focus on that fish. So that's all going to come in. It's going to give you a better feel to depth. It's going to possibly blur you out. These things are shooting in 4K. These phones are amazing. They do, just better than some of the high, a lot of the snap and click cameras that many of you probably have. Unless you're spending $3,000 and $4,000 on these high-end DSLRs, these are really, really good. You could probably shoot a whole TV show with these. So rules 1 and 2 apply into the third tip, right? Focus on your subject. Don't make it fill the entire screen. Keep it just out there so it's 1/3 of what your screen is. Now this doesn't apply 100% of the time. If you're doing a product type shoot, that's a different deal. But if you're doing the grip and grins, and maybe you're just trying to catch a picture of somebody in the front of your boat fishing off the bank, whatever it may be, focus on that subject for 1/3, 2/3, not, right? Leave that as that natural space, a little bit of white space. Otherwise it's called negative space. Right here is another example of thirds. Okay, the fish is the focus, so the fish is out here a little bit. It's this third. This third's me. That third's pretty much the lake, right? This is not a perfect example, but you get the idea. The fish is, if you were to go vertical with this thing, 1/3 of that whole image is the fish. Okay. Number 4, different perspectives. All right, shoot your shots from different angles. Okay, lay your phone or something, your camera, whatever you're using. This doesn't have to just be your iPhone or Android. You can, if you're using your cameras as well, lay it down on the deck of your boat. Shoot at a different angle. Okay, set it down on the ice and shoot upward. Okay, so a lot of different perspectives where it's going to give you field of depth as well. But do something different. Okay, just don't do the standard. Square it up, stand directly in front of me, and take the shots. Get up above them, get down below them, get on the sides. Film is extremely cheap nowadays, right? We don't have to run down to the Walmart or the Walgreens to get it developed. It's all here. Take as many as you want, delete the ones you don't want, edit the other ones later. 5th thing, okay, try not to zoom in. It's hard if you're looking at something, if you're watching something out there, you always want to zoom in to get it better. Walk, move, get closer to it if possible. You're going to pixelate that thing and distort that image when you try to use other places. Now there's times you can't avoid it, so go ahead and zoom in. I personally like to always hold mine in the landscape mode like this versus portrait. Nowadays you need to do a lot of portraits though if you're into your Instagram stories, all right? Depends on know what you're taking your photo for. okay, so you know which direction to hold your phone. If you always do them on landscape like this, which isn't even one of my tips, you can edit that photo and crop it and make it a portrait photo. If it's portrait, you can't make it landscape. It's stuck. But if you're doing Instagram stories and certain other things, you need to be in portrait mode. Lighting. Natural light is the best light you're ever going to get. Okay, it's not always the option, of course. Just like here in this room, it's horribly lit. I'm in the basement in an office. I have some lighting. But natural light is just the way to go, period. So now when you're in your boat or you're doing your grip and grins or whatever it is, look into the sun. Okay, you don't want to be backlit a whole lot. When it's possible, have the sun facing you and look up into you. You may get some shadow over your face if you had a hat on, but that's going to give you the best exposure for everything. That's a big one, because you have a lot of reflection coming off the lake if you're in a boat. You'll see a lot of guys will take photos and it's dark, it's all blacked out. You need to turn and be directly into the sun. So keep your sunglasses on if you absolutely have to, otherwise take them off. But look in the sun and hold that fish up. Stick it out there if you're trying to get a face shot with a lure. Have yourself some tools, okay? There's a lot of stuff out there. A selfie stick, okay? These things extend way out. Tripods with flexible legs, okay? There's a little mount that goes on here. Mount your phone to it, hook it on the steering wheel or the window of your boat. If you're doing videos, add the microphone. Add the mouse to it as well, right? Get the cover, keep the wind noise down. iPhones, Androids, they all have tons of accessories out there. Pick them up when you can. Add them to your arsenal of tools. You're going to love it. There's some great things you can do with them. The microphone really helps pick up noise versus just holding it. A lot of people put their finger over the mic and it just doesn't work. But when you're outside and with that mic and that little mouse, that wind buffer, you can be in the boat cruising along and it's going to cut down noise, and it works really good. A real simple thing that most people forget is cleaning your lens. Okay, see, a lot of what could have been a good photo and it's just blurry, it looks real matte type finish. Your lens is just dirty. That's it. Just take a second before you use it, clean it off, okay? Your phone's in your pocket, it's in your suit or something like that, in your bibs this time when you're ice fishing. It get fogged over, it's rubbing against stuff, it's dirty, it's a bad deal. Number 9. Edit your photos, okay? I don't hardly ever post a photo without doing some type of editing to it. That just may be sharpening the image, cropping the edges a little bit, dehazing some clarity on it. There's apps, there's Canva, there's Snapseed. I use Photoshop, Lightroom, all those things. And there's a ton of free apps you can download to your phone, use them and incorporate them in your stuff. I hardly will, 99% of the time, every photo or anything that goes up has been edited, okay? As you can see on here, this is a non-edited shot. Edited. Mr. Lauer, these are just from a week or so ago. Non-edited, decent photo, focus on the fish. Not necessarily thirds, a little too close, but that was all right. The focus was the fish. Edited, boom, it all pops, okay? Brought the color of the fish out, did some sharpening on that. There's a little bit more dynamic one, right? Really trying to focus on this Z-Man, right? And this chatterbait here on the redfish. It's edited. So you can see how it brought some depth, blurred out the background, the little vignette which made the dark edges. Not a bad photo as is. You see more of the person, but the edited one softened all that up, and really this is the focus was on this product. Hard to tell, but believe it or not, if you look at the shadows that come right down the face, sunglasses, hat, even around here on the fish's face, after editing, all this stuff's popping. Now you can see my white beard, reflection of sunglasses, the fish is sticking out more, right? That's the focal point. And last of all, the 10th tip is just be creative. Do something different. Don't do what everybody else is doing. You're going to do the grip and grids. You're going to do the fish on the stringers or on the tables or whatever it is. You got to take them. If you're a guide, you want to get them for your clients. They're great. Every picture, having the picture is better than not having the picture. But if you're a pro staff or you're doing this for somebody or for your own portfolio and your websites and things like that, take a little bit more time, put a little bit of thought behind it. Take the extra 2 or 3 minutes to edit your photos, line things up, and just take a lot and just play around with things. Right now, it's a great time. Get outside. You can actually get some really good stuff out on the ice if you have a little bit of cloud cover. Just take a bunch of shots and kind of play with things, all right? The iPhone 7s, 8, up to 11s have capabilities that are just unbelievable, and there's no reason that everybody can't take some good quality images out there. So if you got any questions about this stuff, hit us back up here on YouTube. Leave a comment in the comment boxes below, or head over to the Walleye Guys website and send us a message. We'll be glad to give you some more pointers. Otherwise, stay tuned and we will see you on the water.